Hi guys! Alrighty, so as promised, I have another tag video to do. This one came off of Tumblr from, I think, the Tumblr, A Crown of Feathers and an Oak. But I went back to look for it and I couldn't find it, so I don't know where it's gone or if even anybody else has done this tag. But I found it on there and I wrote it down, and now I can't find where it actually came from, but that's what I wrote as a source, so I hope I'm right about that. Alrighty, number 1, how long have you been worshiping? So I think we went over this last time. What day is it? I mean, what month is it? It's about 2 years, I think, but I only actually started doing deity worship very recently, probably around Halloween this year, or last year, so 2018. So from then to now is like 6 months. I've been working with other things for 2 years, but only actually doing deity worship for about 6 months. Alrighty, number 2, do you have a deity that is particularly close to you? So I kind of like to treat all my deities equally, and I think we're equally as connected as all of the others. I can't say that. I think they're all about equal. As much as I talk to them and work with them and, you know, do stuff on their altar, I try to do it equally. I am kind of getting into doing some, like, smaller things with different deities and probably, you know, work with them a lot less than with my main deities, but at the moment, all 3 of my gods and goddess are basically equal right now. Alrighty, what is your favorite tale about your gods? So, I'm gonna sound like an idiot here. Basically the main mythos of all of them is kind of, you know, to be worked with, and everybody basically knows the main stuff about most, especially Greek gods, I think. My favorite one about Selene is, and I'm gonna forget his name. She's basically the patron goddess of lovers, because she had the mortal lover who would sleep all the time, just so he could see her in his dreams. And I don't remember his name, but I know he had sheep. I like that one most, and I cannot remember his name for the life of me. I will probably post it in the comments if I can look that up, but right now I'm using my phone, obviously. That one is my favorite about Selene because she really, really loved this guy, and I'm just a romantic at heart, so I really like that story. About Hades, basically everything about Hades is cool, it's chill. I don't necessarily agree with the views on, you know, a lot of the kidnapping and whatnot that happens there. I think it's up to interpretation, really. And about Apollo, honestly, I like fan fiction best about Apollo. Apollo and Icarus, and I just came across that the other day, and I was like, that makes so much sense. And I've only been working with Apollo for, like, 3 weeks, maybe a month. Okay, number 4, do you keep an altar? Yes, and you've seen it. I have several altars. I've got the ocean altar in that room, and then my 3 main god altars out here. And I'm hoping to get a little table to do another, like, a working altar in that room. Square, you know, so I can put an altar cloth on it and actually do my workings there, because the altar up here is just basically for, like, that's where I burn my candles and bring, you know, offerings to my gods, but it's not necessarily where I do ritual work. And I saw this thing on Pinterest that was like somebody had drawn a summoning circle on the floor in their craft room. They had wood floors, and I don't have wood floors, so I can't do that, but I thought it was a really neat idea. Alrighty, number 5, do you consider yourself an oracle? Now, just because I've had prophetic dreams and just have kind of a feeling about things, and I like feel like I know what's gonna happen, or, you know, you walk out of the house one day and you have a bad feeling, then you get into a car wreck, I don't think that that's necessarily the same thing as being an oracle. And so, no, I guess not. Number 6, what brought you to your current path? Just kind of working off of where I got into witchcraft in the first place, and then just kind of building on that, meeting my gods, working some more with spirit, doing a past life regression, all these things kind of leading me here. Number 7, do you believe in past lives? Absolutely. as my last answer just said to you. And I think everybody has a lot more than they're probably saying or know about, I guess. Number 8, do you think plants, animals, or stones have spirits? Definitely. To the plants and the animal part, yes. To the stones, I think they're not necessarily, I guess that's a different question. Like if you have something that is specific, I don't know. I guess it depends on the stone. But plants and animals, yes. And stones, I think, just more have, I don't know how to put that. Like just a magical feeling, but not necessarily a specific spirit to each stone, unless, you know, that depends on everybody's stones, I guess. The ones I have, I think are just, I don't think they have spirits in them, no. But plants and animals, yes. Number 9, what do you think your afterlife will look like? I like the idea of Summerland, which I just started watching a video on the other day. It's basically the ideal afterlife. I also think that whatever your views on the afterlife are is what the afterlife is going to be for you. So if you're a Christian and you believe in heaven and hell, then it's going to be heaven and hell for you. And if, you know, you're an atheist and you don't think there's nothing, then you're just going to float around in the void for the rest of forever. So yeah, I think that has to do with what your personal views are. And personally, I think Summerland looks pretty sweet. Number 10, who's your favorite divine power couple? Ooh. Maybe we're going to go back to the fan fiction. I'm going to say Icarus and Apollo. Which isn't, it's not canon. I want it to be canon. Hades and Persephone, it's pretty good. I like Zeus and Hera, but I don't know. I don't think that they are necessarily the poster best couple ever. Yeah. We're gonna go with Apollo and Icarus. Do you listen to devotional music? Yes, and if I was recording on something other than my phone, I would show you that I have Spotify lists devoted to one for Roland, one for Hades, one for Selene, one for Apollo, and then I just started another one, which was kind of like my shadow self, childhood memories and stuff from that era that, like, is stuff that you'll be just sitting there listening to the radio and all of a sudden you hear this song that you used to listen to when you were really little and you're like, oh my God, this ghost is coming back to haunt me. So yes, music is very important, especially since I started working with Apollo, it's become even more important and more important. Yes, more important. It's always been really important. And I think I've always, been an Apollo kid at heart and then didn't realize it. And that's what happens. Alrighty, number 12. What are your views on virginity? Is it worth anything spiritually? I didn't see that question coming and I'm just like suddenly reading about virginity. I'm like, what is happening? So, on the Christian basis, virginity is just meaning unmarried. So, spiritually, I think, and if you think you've had past lives, honestly, a spirit is never going to be completely a virgin. Your body's a virgin, maybe, because you haven't had the experience, but I don't think that, it should be treated as, like, taboo as it is treated. So, that's kind of a tough question. I think you're worth more with experience than without experience, and virgins are kind of treated really weird in the society. So I think we should stop doing that, treating everybody really weird because of that. Alrighty, number 13, what deity do you turn to in times of trouble? All of them, I suppose. If you've got deities, you talk to your deities. That's what you do. That's what you do. Number 14, what are your views on dreams? Have they anything to do with divinity or the future? Go back to the question that I answered a couple minutes ago. Yes. A lot of times dreams are dreams are just there to steer you off of your path and to confuse you and make you feel horrible. But sometimes they're also there to warn you and to tell you, hey, here's this thing you should probably be looking out for that you haven't been paying any attention to. You should probably do that. Number 15, do you prefer to party and celebrate or quietly observe holidays? New Year's is a party that you should celebrate and get drunk. Honestly, I drink for every Sabbath. I'm like, hey, it's a holiday. I'm going to buy this bottle of wine. But usually it's just me sitting there going, it's Yule. I'm gonna sew some little felt goats and drink some wine. Yay! Maybe I'm just that lonely and I don't have any witchy friends. That could be a possibility. Number 16, which deity do you find has the biggest sense of humor? Apollo. Apollo has the biggest sense of humor. Apollo is very lighthearted. Hades has also laughed a couple times, but he's usually pretty sincere and solemn. I guess that's a really good word. Number 17, what made you choose your religion over any others? As I mentioned in previous videos, I had brushes with other religions, and any religion can get out of hand. Honestly, any religion can have fanatics that just are crazy and do things in the name of their religion that are very terrible and awful. But I prefer this one because honestly, you can do whatever you want. Nobody's gonna judge you because, you know, your God is the God of thieves. You know, if you want to do it, just do it. As long as you're not a shitty person, do whatever you want. If you're not doing shitty things, do whatever you want. Alrighty, number 18, do you have any food or drink that is spiritually important? I drink a lot of tea. I usually do different types of tea for different deities. So, you know, mint tea for Hades. Basically anything lemony or citrusy for Apollo, as I think I've gone over this before. Or, and like chamomile and calming stuff for Selene. Any numbers that are important to you? I used to like 7 a lot. I always thought 13 was lucky and not unlucky. But I don't really do numerology stuff anymore. Number 20, do you believe in fairies, nymphs, or nature spirits? Absolutely. I don't really live any place where there's like a whole lot of wilderness and or forest, but I do believe they're there. And honestly, I love fairies. Fairies are great. We're trying to plan a trip to go to Ireland so that we can see some fairy rings and just get into Ireland. But I mean, I have Scottish heritage, so Scotland is also really cool, but for some reason there's fewer fairies and more leprechauns. I don't know. But yes, definitely about the nature spirits. I've always talked to trees. Like, ever since I was a kid, I talked to trees. That was a thing that I did. And then, you know, you read Narnia and you're like, all these trees are wandering around. They all have personalities and it's really weird. But it's a thing. And trees have personalities. Now I'm starting to sound like a crazy person. Anyway, that was 20 witchy questions that I found on Tumblr and can't find the original source to. I hope you enjoyed that. Everybody have an awesome night. I will see you later. Goodbye and good night.